Hey guys, just had a couple of words to say here about manufacturing and specifically about manufacturing returning to the U.S. And this has nothing to do with Trump, at least initially. But in 2020, when COVID hit, and we saw the disruption to supply chains around the world, countries looked at the situation they found themselves in, where they were having shortages and having supply chain disruptions, and they all pretty much acknowledged that there needed to be some makeover, if you will, in the way their supply chains were constructed and the way they were managed, to make sure that at least the things that their people needed for day-to-day living was going to be available. They needed to secure those supply chains as best they could. So the United States, along with the rest of the world, took it upon themselves to kind of redevelop supply chains, and that created a situation where we saw a massive influx of money in the United States going into reshoring manufacturing. And that reshoring of manufacturing and that corporate spending fed heavily into the inflation that we felt in 2022, 2023, 2024, and that we're still feeling. Between 2020 and January of 2025, the United States added about 750,000 new manufacturing jobs, and the trend was up. We were looking to continue adding jobs at a pretty substantial rate for about the next 10 years based on every projection that I can find. The problem we have now with the tariffs is that additional manufacturing money will not be spent in the United States until there is some certainty around the tariffs. If the tariffs are here to stay, and we know they're going to be here for 10 years, some manufacturing will continue to be built out. If the tariffs go away, more manufacturing will be brought online over a period of time, because that's the ideal situation, is to just get rid of the tariffs. But with this on again, off again, on again policy shift that we're seeing day to day and week to week, no one, large or small, is going to invest money in manufacturing in the United States. It's just not going to happen, because they could say, okay, we're going to invest money to build a facility in the U.S. to get around these tariffs, only to have those tariffs go away a year from now when the plant that they're building isn't even completed yet. But in the absence of those tariffs, that plant doesn't make financial sense. So then they're stuck with a dead in the water plant that just does not make sense to operate. So that's one thing you need to consider. The other thing you need to consider is that the machinery, the production line equipment that would go into these plants, whether we're talking about manufacturing electric vehicles or manufacturing toys or manufacturing, just about anything, that machinery, perversely enough, is made in China. And now we have a massive tariff on it. There is machinery right now, as I'm making this video, sitting in factories in China that is ready to ship, or would be ready to ship over the next few months, that will probably sit there for an extended period of time because of the tariffs that are now in place. If you decided in 2021 to build a new manufacturing facility in the U.S. and you had to design your own equipment, that equipment is just now coming into becoming reality in a factory in China. And you have probably paid a significant portion of the value of that equipment already. But let's just say you ordered $10 million worth of new production line equipment, and now that you're ready to bring it to the U.S., you're looking at having a $15 million tax levied upon it when it hits the shores. So you're going to leave it sitting there. You can't eat that money. It just doesn't make financial sense. So the tariffs that are supposed to bring back manufacturing are actually working against bringing manufacturing back. You just can't make this stuff up, people. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. So anyway, I'm approaching everything from a standpoint. This is not meant to be political. I'm approaching, this whole tariff situation from the standpoint of an Amazon seller that typically imports about $4 million worth of product a year from China. And I'm looking at the disruption of my business, and I know that the disruption to other businesses is even greater than I'm experiencing and plan to experience throughout the rest of this year. Again, I have some moves I can make that will help limit the damages, but this will be my first down year in probably 8 or 9 years, unless something really miraculous happens. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, not a lot of smiles and happiness here in this video, sorry. But just wanted to give you all an idea of the repercussions of these tariffs. At least, in your day-to-day lives, you'll be informed, even if maybe you prefer not to know what's going on. At least in the back of your mind, you'll have a better understanding than the average person that you meet on the street. So with that said, hey, if this was helpful to you, if it made you think, how about hitting like and subscribe? It helps the channel grow, and we'll see you in the next video.